Well, Representative Danny Williams calls it the Parents' Bill of Rights. He says that parents or guardians should be the ones to decide if their child learns about sex education. Now, the bill even goes a step further, defining what exactly sex ed is when taught in schools.
I think a parent should have to opt in because a lot of times people aren't paying attention. Notes get taken home. They're not looking at everything in detail.
House Bill 3120 passing out of committee Tuesday with a 4-3 vote. The bill would require parents to say yes for their child to learn about sexual education in school. Right now, the education is presented unless parents opt out.
If we don't believe that parents are properly opting out, if that's the point of the bill, that parents aren't able to opt out, how are they able to opt in? You know, if the exact same thing is going to happen.
Representative Jared Deck arguing not all parents and guardians talk about sex ed at home or feel comfortable at home.
What happens to the children who we are trusting with abusive parents? What happens to the children whenever they feel like they can no longer trust an educator because they can't tell an educator or a counselor or whoever's teaching this class, they feel like they can't talk about it without being outed to their parents.
Well, I don't have an answer to you on all parents. I typically believe that most parents are good parents.
Some of the education outlined in the bill, a definition of male and female that doesn't allow pronouns that don't correspond to the person's sex. It also teaches abstinence as the expected standard and what it calls the benefits of monogamous heterosexual marriage. Plus, multiple lawmakers brought up concerns surrounding consent after Williams took it out of the curriculum listed on the bill.
I'm concerned that you are uninterested in teachers teaching what consent is to young people who I think need to know.
Now, Representative Williams says he and other legislators who helped draft this bill will go back and take a look at the language and potentially make changes when it comes to the topic of consent.